I want to track this video, and as you can see in the beginning there's a dark stage and then the tracking starts and it goes all the way to the end. So to track this video, I'll open the tracker. Once the tracker is open, you just simply drag the video into the tracker and it will start loading it. And one thing I tend to do is I put the video I want to track on the side of the screen. That way I don't have to move the window of the tracker to find the video. It's easier that way. And I also, since I'm running a Core i5 computer, I usually run up to 4 trackers at the same time. So I open the tracker 4 times and upload the video into the tracker. And that way I can track 4 different points at the same time, and this speeds up the process and brings down the waiting time, because as you can see you have to wait for the video to load, so might as well do it 4 times at the same time. And you can also go up to 10 trackers at the same time, and you can just line them up here and track 10 points at the same time. I usually do that overnight when I'm not using my computer, so the trackers just run on their own, because the tracker does slow down your computer overall, especially if you have 4 or more than 4 open. Your computer will pretty much be unusable, so it's better to do this overnight or sometime when you're not using the computer, and have like 10 trackers open. So as you can see, this takes some time. Now that it's loaded, I'll open up the screen and I'll just take it to anywhere I want to track. So this is a part of the video that I want to track. Excuse me. So we press the calibration stick. This is the coordinate system, sorry. So when you click on this, you get this purple coordinate axis system. This is the x-axis and this is the y-axis. Now you need to decide with the grad student you're working with where you want to place this and how you want to place it. So for this video, I discussed it with the postdoc I'm working with, and we decided that we want to place it parallel to the horizontal. So, and this is the horizontal plane. So I'm gonna place it here just to make sure it's horizontal. And you can change the angle simply clicking on this. So that looks parallel, and we decided that we're gonna place it here. Now one thing that helps you do this faster is remember the angle here, and you can just simply click enter this number every time you open the tracker to track a different point. So let's say this was back in the normal, and then you remember it was 41.6. Again, that easily sets up to the angle and you can place it here. Now once the coordinate system is set up, we'll go to create, calibration tools, and calibration stick. And it gives us this stick, and we set it to the diameter of the cylinder. So the diameter is somewhere like that. And we decided for this video that we're going to set it to 1. So for this project it's going to be 1. It could be a different number for every other project, and it needs to be discussed with your grad student. And again, for this video, the point after this solid line is number 10. So I'm going to be tracking number 10 here. And what I usually do is I place the calibration stick above the point I want to track, and this makes it easier for me to identify which point I'm tracking, and makes me notice if the tracker goes off or anything like that. And then we go to create point mass. This takes us to the beginning of the video, and as you remember, I mentioned that I want to track it from where the light turns on, so that's somewhere around here. So this is a little dark. I'll go to this, for example. So frame 174, and these 2 buttons help you go up and down a single frame. So if you click one, you go down 1 frame, you click up, you go up 1 frame. And what I usually do is I take note of this number, because again, every time I want to track a different point in the same video, I can simply look for this number. I can drag this and find 174, and then click 2 down, and there we are. So once we're at that frame, we press Control and Shift, so Control and Shift, and we get this pointer, and we click, and it gives us this new window. I usually just put it down here. I set the evolution rate to 5% and the auto mark to 2. So this is something you need to do. And here we can set the search area. So the circle here is the search area. This is what the tracker will look for in every single frame. So you can set it to something that's easy for the tracker to find every single time. You can set it to any shape you want by clicking on this small box here. And then once you set it to the shape you want, you have to adjust this rectangular box as well. This is the search area, so this is where the tracker will look for this shape, this search area basically. So you want to set it as small as possible, but at the same time make it easier for this tracker to find the point. So that looks fine. And then once you're all set, you click on search, and the tracker starts searching. You can drag the graph in and out to see how the search is going. And so right now everything is going fine, but sometimes the tracker tends to go off, especially when it's hard to find the next point. So it didn't happen here, but I'm just going to do it manually just to show you. So, but once that happens, so let's say it goes off to this point by mistake, you can see there's a clear jump in the graph. Now to fix this, you can easily click on the dot you want to fix. So you go on it, click on it, and it takes you on that one. You press shift while holding shift. You bring the mouse to where you want to click it, and there we go. Then the point is back in correct place. Now to continue tracking, you need to go back to the point you just corrected. Hold Control and Shift, and click on that place, and it gives you the search area again. And again, you do the same thing. You set the search area and the box, and then you click search. You don't really need to do this if, for example, there's just a jump in one of the points. So let's say that's how it is, and the points after that are fine. You can just click on that, hold shift only, and click, and it's correct. And then you can go back to the front and continue the search without having to set the search area again. Now, it's best to try to minimize the number of times you do this, because every time you set the new search area, the tracker slows down more. And usually, even if you don't reset the search area every time, the tracker slows down a lot towards the end of the video. So you want to try to minimize this. And you can minimize this by setting the perfect search area. So try to set the search area somehow that you think the tracker can find the point easily. And then once the tracking is done, the pointer will be all the way at the end, and the search will turn green and it will just say search. So something like that, and it will be towards the end. I'm not going to let it finish right now because it takes time. It can take up to 3 or 4 hours to do this. You go on to File. So once the tracking is done and it goes all the way to the end, you go on File, Export, Tracker File, select all, and then you press OK. Now, what I usually do is I sort them into folders based on the angle and the speed. So for this video, the angle is 45 degrees, the speed is 7.5, and it's the side view camera. So I go to 45.075. And as you remember, I mentioned this is point number 9 of side view. So I've already tracked this, but if this was the first time tracking, this wouldn't be here. I would have to write this down. And again, what I usually do is, for the first time, I write it, and then if it's point number 9, I just go to the previous point, click here, and just put 9. That makes it much faster without having to write everything again. And then you click save, and it will save it for you. But now that I've already saved it before, I'm not going to do it. And then once you're done saving the tracker file, you go to File, you go to Data File this time, select All, Save As, and you do the same thing as last time, except that this time you save it as a text file. So as you can see, the names are exactly the same, except this time it's a text file. And you click it, you click save, and it saves it. And then you can close this, and you can close this, and you're done. Alright, so now that we're done with tracking, we'll need to go back and convert the files. So as you remember, I saved them in this folder, and I'll click open it, and then I sorted them by type. All the tracker files and all the text files sorted. What we need to do is first we need to make sure we remove the video from where we started. So if you remember, we dragged it from the desktop, so I'm going to simply delete it from the desktop. And then open a tracker file. So for example, this file, I want to convert it. Now you'll be given this prompt, and it'll say would you like to search for it. We click no, and we'll let it load. Usually it gets stuck on 20%, but as you can see here, it went to 80%, and now we know that the file is going to open. So just wait for it to open. And it's open, we'll go on file. It'll take some time to load. This tracker is a bit slow. Okay, now that we have it, we're going to export and data file. So this time we only want to export the data file. And what I usually do is in the 45 folder, I create a folder called converted. In it, I have the subfolders again, and I go to 45.075. And as you can see, this is the file we're converting. So I just put the exact same name, except that it's going to be a text file again. I've already done this before, but if it wasn't, I would be writing that down and saving it. And then once we save that, we can simply close this and go on to the next point, for example. So again, we'll get the same error. We'll click no, and we'll let it load. If it goes to 80%, we'll know it's going to open. So this is going to open as well. Now I'm not going to let it open. I want to give you an example of where it does not open. So let's see if this will not open. So even this is opening. Since I've already opened these once before, it's easier for the tracker to open them. So maybe that's why, but usually it gets stuck on 20%. And if that happens, you just have to press cancel, close the window, and open it again, hoping that it will work. But as you can see, since I already opened these before, that doesn't happen. And then once you've converted all these files, then you can use the converted data to do further work on the data. So again, see, as you can see, these are loading. I'm just going to give you an example from another data I'm tracking right now. So for example here, let's say this file. So as you can see, it's stuck on 20% and it's now going to 80. No matter how long we wait for it, this is not going to load. So we just click cancel, close it, and open the file again. And we need to keep doing this until the tracker file opens. So let's see if it will work this time. Oh, so we'll just close it again and try it again. So this time it's working. And once it hits 80%, you know that it's going to open, so that's good. And then once the tracker file is open, you click on File, Export, Data File, and then you save it. And that's how you convert the data.